Don't we all love a big black cardboard box of goodies?
Nope.
Inside we have a gaming laptop you've probably never heard of, the Scan 3XS P775 TM1G. Doesn't ring a bell? Well, this absolute unit of a laptop is essentially a true desktop replacement with user upgradable CPU and GPU. The specs on this bad boy are quite solid with an i9-9900K, yes that is a desktop CPU, and an RTX 2080 which would have set you back close to £3,000 back in 2019. However, I picked this up for only £300, which sounds too good to be true. Yes, there are issues with this laptop which we will address, but as a package, man, this is sweet. Let's explore the world of desktop replacements to know if this beast is a best of both worlds. The laptop itself is in pristine condition. There are essentially no scratches or wear, which probably means the previous user never really moved it. Would make sense as it weighs a back-breaking 4.35 kilograms or 9.6 pounds. Add the power brick, which looks like an actual brick, and it's an extra 1.27 kilograms. The laptop does look quite plain, but I do appreciate its minimalism. Feels like too many laptops go overboard on aesthetics. This tank is thick, with a thickness of 4.2 centimeters, ensuring the best possible cooling for its components. Screen hinges feel solid, keyboard and palm rest look untouched. It is a bit dirty with a suspicious white substance splattered all over it, probably just milk. There's also a smorgasbord of stickers which clearly they went overboard on. Overall, the laptop looks and feels solid, so let's go ahead and turn it on. This laptop is an absolute behemoth. It probably weighs around 4 kilograms including the charger. Supposedly this laptop does have a few issues including the screen and also the keyboard. Alright, enough rambling, let's turn this on and hopefully we can get into the BIOS. One small observation that I have made are there's some lights at the side of the laptop, which is a good sign, so there is power going through the laptop. With all of that said, let's turn it on and hopefully we can get into the BIOS. Okay, so far so good, lights are on, but can we get a display? Yes we can, Clevo enhanced by, okay. Reboot and select proper boot device, so I'm guessing there is no SSD in this machine. Yes, I don't think I mentioned this is a Clevo laptop, so basically Scan PC essentially put their own branding on this laptop and shipped it to anyone who bought it. This originally cost around £3,000 with the components in it, so this is a beefy laptop especially for its time. Okay, let's turn it on again and hopefully we get different results.
20 minutes later.
Yes! Okay, there we have it. We're finally into the BIOS. I don't know why that took so long. So we of course have the i9-9900K 3.6 GHz with 32 GB of DDR4, and it looks like everything is recognized, which is good to see. And yes, we do have that RTX 2080. That is insane. So hopefully we can get this thing into Windows, but first of all let's turn this thing around and give it an SSD. Here we have the laptop, and I actually don't know what to call this laptop. Should I call it a Clevo? Should I call it a 3XS? I have no clue. I guess Clevo is easier, but 3XS kind of makes it a bit more unique in that sense. Let's turn this thing around. Okay, yeah, this thing is an absolute behemoth. So the first thing that we're going to do is take out the battery, which shouldn't be too hard. I think there's a few latches here. That is a really small battery for a really big laptop. It's an 82 watt-hour battery, which is actually pretty good. Okay, how many SSDs do I have? Let's take a look. Okay, looks like we actually have enough for once. That's nice to see. Let's just take a random one. Like this one here. What is this? This is a Lenovo. Okay, I'm doing this one-handed, which is not easy. And just like that, we should be good to go. Okay, let's turn it back on. And can we get into the BIOS just with the laptop keyboard? Okay, yes we can. Maybe this laptop is fully functional, which is a bit strange considering that the seller did sell this at a pretty steep discount. Other than that, the screen looks perfectly fine to me. I'm not really seeing any issues with... Okay, I don't think the screen is working, guys. As soon as I positioned it a little bit, okay, now it's dead. Maybe that could be like a display cable issue, because it was working completely fine while stationary, but as soon as I moved the display, I mean, it doesn't work anymore, does it? We'll take a look at the display cable, because maybe the display cable is loose. We did see that happen with the MSI GT8 3 video I made a few months back. So hopefully it's the same issue, and that would make life a lot easier. But first, let's install Windows 11 just to confirm if everything else is working. It's Windows time, baby. Let's install Windows 11, and just like that, we have the laptop up and operational with all of the drivers installed. We do need to take a look at the screen in a bit more detail because I feel like there are issues with it. Let's take a look at that screen, and will it have the same issue as before? So once we tilt the screen a little bit, will it start to flicker? And okay, looks like it's working for some reason. Another thing is the keyboard is essentially fully functional. I don't know why the seller claimed that the keyboard had issues with it. Maybe it's intermittent, maybe it will die later on, who knows. But at the minute it is functional, which is good to see. But the screen is working. I mean, there is no flickering whatsoever. I'm even going at a bit more speed with it. And yeah, would you take a look at that? It's a bit strange, this one, I'll be honest, but let's take a look at the screen connector a bit closer just to confirm if there's any issues with it, and if there isn't, then hey, that's pretty good in my opinion. £300 desktop replacement with an i9 and 2080 with a working screen and a working keyboard, yes please. But enough talking, let's take a look at the display connector. Seems like this supposed screen issue isn't as bad as I thought. It does look to be like the display cable has become loose from the actual display, which is a super easy fix. Starting off, we gotta remove the battery and hold down the power button to get rid of any residual power from the laptop. Thankfully, the display bezel is clipped on, which makes life so much easier. Trust me, working with adhesive and displays is a monumental struggle. Now time for the display. It's screwed on, thankfully, and with those out of the way, we can see the display in full view. The display connector does seem to be in, but even a tiny bit loose can cause issues. The actual cable looks completely fine, so I doubt it needs a replacement. Slotting it back into place and securing it with some tape, we should be good to go. Since we've approached the display, we might as well go all in and check out the components. I've mentioned that the CPU and GPU can be replaced, which makes this laptop highly sought after. Taking off the panel reveals it all, with of course our sticks of 32GB of RAM. You just know that will go for an absolute fortune now. This heatsink is absolutely massive, and taking out all of the screws, it also weighs a ton. The two fans were caked in dust, so I gave them a quick wipe and also removed all the excess thermal paste with some good old 99% IPA. Now we can get a better view of the CPU and GPU. Since it does have a 9900K, it uses a standard retention system for the CPU and can be easily swapped. That, once upon a time, was an absolute beast. Let's just carefully put that back in. The GPU is an RTX 2080 MXM, which should perform quite close to a full-fat 2080. Now, you're probably looking at this like, he's gonna put Arctic MX4 on this beast. Well, today I've had a change of heart. Good old PTM7950 should make this powerhouse into less of a glorified space heater and something with longevity. This stuff is expensive, so I hope it's worth it. Well, that's pretty much it. A quick reassemble of all components, and finally I gave it a quick clean with some wipes and 3 parts water, 1 part eucalyptus oil because this thing was filthy, dusty and sticky. Time to test this beast out. So with the disassembly complete, let's take a look and see if this turns on. Alright, here goes nothing. Can we go into Windows straight away? Okay, so the display is working. That's good to see. And any second now. There we are. Okay, looks like it's working. That's great. And let's just take a look and see if tilting the display gives any artifacts. No, looks like it's working completely fine. So there we have it. I guess all the issues are rectified and even the keyboard works, which is great to see. So looks like we have nothing much more left to do except test this thing out, run some benchmarks and see how this thing can perform in a few games. So let's go ahead. Of course, we got to test out the CPU. So here we have Cinebench R23. Let's take a look and see how well this 8-core and 16-thread beast can perform. So with all of that said, let's start the test and see what score we get. I mean, I have to say those fans are very loud. I guess it does make sense considering that this is a desktop CPU that needs to cool down. But we do have PTM7950 in it, so it should make the temperatures a lot more palatable. We will take a look at the temperatures later on, but let's just let this test finish and see how we do. Whoa, I did not expect that. So we got a multi-core score of 10,087, which is actually quite respectable. But then you take a look at the ranking and it's actually a bit underwhelming. The mobile counterpart only got 1,000 points less, which is actually quite surprising considering how good this CPU really is. But I guess it does make sense considering that this is a desktop CPU in a laptop chassis and there was probably some thermal throttling going on. And talking about temperatures, it maxed out at 85 degrees, which is okay. I mean, it's not the best, of course. 85 degrees is quite warm, but in a laptop is what you expect, especially from this chip. And the average temperature was around 60 degrees, so I guess it didn't do terrible there. All in all, I think it did okay. I mean, I would have expected a bit more from the CPU, but it's in a laptop, so you gotta expect it. With that out of the way, let's take a look at some GPU benchmarks. Time for some Valley benchmark. You know the drill. Let's run the Valley benchmark at high settings and system resolution to see how good this RTX 2080 is. Off the bat, we're getting around 200 FPS, which is actually really good. The GPU is at 63 degrees and the CPU is at 70, and it's sounding like a flipping jet engine at the minute. And it's using around 150 watts for the GPU, while the CPU is only using around 37 watts, which is actually quite surprising. As for the FPS, once again, we're getting around 212, 220, 222. That's actually really good. This might be better than my actual gaming PC, which is actually quite insane. And once the rains come down, so does the FPS. We're getting around 122, 124. Doesn't look too bad in my opinion. We're still averaging around 193, which is insane. This is a proper desktop replacement in my opinion. This is doing a lot better than I expected. But yeah, nothing much more to say here except that it's doing really well. So let's skip forward to when we actually get the result. And the score is in. We got an average FPS of 182.9 with a score of 7,654 with a minimum FPS of 35.7 and a maximum FPS of 290. That is insane. We only paid around £300 for this laptop, and for it to perform like this, like an actual gaming PC, is quite incredible. Granted, we do have at 1080p, I can't even think because of how loud this machine actually is, but this is really respectable in my opinion. Let's take a look and see how well it can perform in some games. It's time for some gaming, and of course we start with some Minecraft Java on its latest version. I did want to commentate on this, but yeah, never mind. After witnessing such stellar performance on Valley, I wasn't shocked to see Minecraft play out a similar way. On medium settings, the game ran exceptionally well. I mean, we're talking about FPS averages in the near 500s, which I rarely see in gaming laptops. Flying around saw a minor reduction in FPS, but overall, this was flawless. Temperatures were also spot on, hovering around the 60 to 80 degree mark. As we all know, Minecraft isn't the most demanding title out there, so this laptop wasn't utilizing all of its resources. So let's see if that changes when we enable shaders. Starting off with Silder's Vibrant Light, which works well on lower end hardware, so of course the 3XS has no issues playing on it. The game looks great with an average around 180 FPS, which is very much playable. For some reason, it wasn't using all of the GPU, and the CPU is only at 10%, which I thought was quite strange. Other than that, there was no stutters or lag, so I think we're in the clear. With something a bit more intensive, Astrolux shaders leave a lot to be desired with a sub 60 FPS average, but at least it's using all of the GPU. At least we know this is how it would run on a similar machine. Minecraft as a whole did very well, but how will things pan out on something a bit more intensive? In everyone's favourite character customizer, here we have Cyberpunk 2077. I kinda already knew this would perform quite well, but then I had a look at the pre-selected settings. With ray tracing on low and high to ultra settings, it did look quite optimistic, but then I ran a quick benchmark and honestly, it surprised me. You gotta remember this is with ray tracing enabled, and we're getting a solid 70 FPS average. If that's not impressive, I don't know what is. There were literally no stutters, the temperatures looked solid, and it was utilizing all of its resources efficiently. Damn. Take a look at that GPU power usage. It all looked pretty good with an average in the high 70s, and once into an actual game just cruising around, we more or less saw the same thing with some impressive metrics. I genuinely thought Cyberpunk wouldn't perform its best, but I suppose the RTX 2080 i9-9900K combo is still solid to this day. The Last of Us is yet another resource heavy game, but this didn't stop the 3XS to absolutely demolish it. I have the game on its pre-selected settings with it being on high to ultra at 1080p, something I would have dreamed playing on a few years back, but here we have it running great with a 70 FPS average. There's literally not much to say about this one. I think I've used all of the adjectives to describe this laptop, but when you see performance like this and for the price I paid, yeah, it's incredible stuff. Temperatures stayed reasonable and absolutely no bottlenecks with both components quite balanced. It was a bit weird seeing the CPU pulling only 30 watts of power at 80% usage. I guess the only major limitation with the RTX 2080 is its VRAM. 8GB is fine for now, but performance will deteriorate as time goes by. For now, I think it's doing bloody good. 2026, the year that GTA 6 supposedly comes out, so let's pay homage to one of the best games ever released. This is actually the enhanced version, but anyway, here we have it on very high settings. No surprise here, GTA 5 Enhanced played very well with a solid average in the 140s, walking around the town with temperatures once again looking really good. You have to say the PTM in this machine is doing wonders for temperatures. Thankfully, there were no bottlenecks, RAM and VRAM usage looked acceptable. All in all, it looked quite decent, cruising around the town and attacking people, as you do in GTA 5. The frame rate did lower quite a bit, but I think that's expected in built up areas. Despite being a laptop GPU, it performs almost desktop-like, and with the desktop CPU, this laptop is freaking awesome, man. Besides gaming, what other things do I like about this laptop? The keyboard is quite nice to type on with enough depth and travel, you know, something every keyboard should have. The display is absolutely gorgeous despite only being a 1080p 75Hz panel. It does get quite bright, rated at 300 nits, and has 100% sRGB color gamut. This laptop has a sound blaster and front facing speakers, so of course the speakers were quite incredible. Enough bass and clarity, and it does get quite loud. And the laptop does have a Thunderbolt port, so if the RTX 2080 isn't enough, you could upgrade it or use an external GPU. This was the most powerful laptop of 2019 and it definitely shows. And there we have it, the 3XS P775 TM1G. Brilliant name, but also a brilliant laptop. This truly is the ultimate desktop replacement, and for the time would have been an exceptional machine to have. There's nothing much more to say. I feel like I've praised this laptop enough, but what do you think? Leave your thoughts down below. By the way, I do apologize for taking a few weeks off YouTube. Things got in the way, that's just life. Here's to a prosperous 2026. Anyways, remember to like, subscribe, turn the bell so you don't miss my next video. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.